Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, October 24th, 2025. NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, soccer, World Series, golf, NASCAR. On this day, news and notes, and best bet in Fab 5 to close. We'll start with football. Thursday night football last night. We'll talk about the game a little bit and look ahead to Sunday. It was a blowout. The Chargers over the Vikings, 37-10. The Chargers are 5-3. Minnesota is now 3-4. They got to go back to J.J. McCarthy this week, you would think. The Vikes. So now we look ahead to Sunday. 1 o'clock on CBS. Dolphins, Falcons. On the call of this game, we have Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. My line is Falcons by 9, total 43 4/5. And we have the Falcons giving 7.5, totals 44.5. Slight lean Falcons. You'll not see that in Fab 5. Jets, Bengals, Spiro Ditas, and Adam Archuleta. My line is Bengals by 6, total 47.25, and it is 6.5 and 44.5. Over. Bengal offense is better with Joe Flacco. And I'm surprised that my line is in line with this. Amazingly enough. On Fox, Browns, Patriots. You have Chris Myers and Mark Shrelith. My line is New England 11, total 47 7/20, and a 7 40.5. I absolutely love New England minus the 7. Giants, Eagles, Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. Ooh, look at the Giants and Jackson Dart getting the big boys. Oh, they did get the big boys in week 1, surprisingly. But I think that was NFC's favoritism. I think that's kind of the case here, but at the same time, even though they're 2-5, I think they think the Giants are better than their record, and they blew those 2 games. My line's Eagles 11, total 47 and 11/20, and it is Eagles 7, total 43.5. So the over is enticing. I have a 4-point edge on the Eagles, and I have an over 4-point edge on over. So I'm actually going to give out the over. I'm actually glad to be giving out the over. If A.J. Brown was playing, then I probably the pick would have been the Eagles. But I love the over 43.5. That's low, especially against for a Giants team that looks weak defensively. Bills, Panthers on Fox. Adam Amin and Greg Olsen. Obviously, Olsen covering for Kevin Burkhardt. Burkhardt's actually doing the game. Filling in for Joe Davis, Okay, so with Bryce Young, I have, believe it or not, the Carolina Panthers as a 2.5-point favorite. Without Bryce Young, I have Bills 1.5, total 46.5, and it is Bills 7.5, total 46.5. Bryce Young or Andy Dalton, I love the Panthers with the 7 in the hook. I think that's too many points, and the Bills have yet to kick ass against anybody this year, and plus they're on the road. I mean, you could say the Jets, but the Jets are the Jets. On CBS, Bears, Ravens. Ian Eagle and J.J. Watt. With Lamar, I have Ravens 4, total 53 and 7/10. And then without Lamar, I have Bears 3. It looks like Lamar's playing. Ravens are a 7-point favorite, totals 49.5. So another one where I like the over. But if Lamar doesn't play, the pick's the Bears. If Lamar does play, over. Another game where there's questions at quarterback. 49ers Texans. That is on Fox. On the call here, Kevin Kugler and Darryl Johnston. All right, with Mac Jones, I have Texans 5.5 total 38 and 3/20. And with Brock Purdy, I have Texans by a half. And it is 2.5, 41.5. I think this line is trying to tell you Brock Purdy. But either way, because of the differentials, I have a bigger differential on the under than anything. So under 41.5. Two really good defenses. I mean, I don't know about the 49ers D without Warner, but the Houston D's elite. Four o'clock on Fox. Bucks Saints. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma. Surprised this game's in the 4 o'clock window. I would have thought 49ers Texans would have been in the 4 o'clock window. That's a better game. My line is Saints as a 5-point dog, total 47 and a 10th, and it is 4.5 and 46.5. Slide over. This will not be in Fab 5. All right. The game of the afternoon. 4:25. CBS. Cowboys. Broncos. Jim Nantz. Tony Romo. Cowboys, Broncos. I have the Broncos by 6. Total 51.25. And it's 3.5 and 50.5. I love the Broncos minus a 3.5. I think the Cowboys are overrated, especially because of their defense. I know their offense can put up the points, but I think that comeback against the Giants can catapult the Broncos. Just like I think that it could shatter the Giants, I think this could catapult Denver and get them going offensively. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Broncos against the Cowboys. Also on CBS, Titans, Colts. Andrew Catalan, Charles Davis, and Jason McCourty. Mine's Colts 16.5, total 47 and a 10th, and it is 14.5 and 46.5. I'm going to lay the 14.5 with the Colts. And Sunday Night Football, 8:20, NBC, Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. I'm sorry, I forget the lady's name. Sunday Night Football. It does the reporting for NBC. Melissa Stark. Packers, Steelers. Aaron Rodgers against his old team. My line is Steelers by 4. Total 47 and 7/10. And it is Green Bay by 3. Total 45.5. You all know where I'm going here. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 3 and plus 128 on the money line. Rah, rah. Mike Tomlin special. Okay, now to college football. We'll go over the result from yesterday and look ahead to the weekend coming up and tonight, obviously. The game last night was in Sunbelt, and I know I lost the bet. South Alabama beat Georgia State 38-31. So, on to tonight. 7 o'clock on ESPN2. We don't have time to do the commentators. So, North Texas, Charlotte's the game. My line is North Texas 15.5 total 61 and 7/20. And it is 26.5 and 61.5. I'm going to take Charlotte getting the points. I think that's a high number. On ESPN at 7:30, Cal Vautech. My line is Cal 2.5 total 48 and 19/20. And it is Virginia Tech 6.5 total 50.5. I absolutely love Cal getting the 6 and the hook and plus 188 outright. Cal's been pretty good this year. CBS Sports Network at 10 o'clock, Boise State, Nevada. My line's Boise State 18 total 53 and 3/10, and it is 21.5 and 50.5. I'm going to take Nevada getting the 21 in the hook. 3 touchdowns at home. All right, tomorrow, 12 o'clock on Fox. UCLA number 2, Indiana. My line's Indiana by 20, total 52 and 13/20. And it's 25.5 and 52.5. UCLA in the points. UCLA's been a cover machine lately. ESPN Syracuse, number 7, Georgia Tech. I have Tech by 20, total 56 and a quarter. And it's 16.5 and 53.5. I'm going to lay the 16.5 with Georgia Tech. I think that Syracuse is overrated. On ABC, number 8, Ole Miss. Number 13, Oklahoma. I have Pick'em in 49 and the 20th. And it is, I said Oklahoma's probably favored. Yeah, 5.5, total 52.5. I'm going to take Ole Miss getting the 5 in the hook. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they cover. The ACC Network, number 16, Virginia and North Carolina. I have Virginia by 10, total 53.5. And it's 10.5 and 51.5. Over. Number 18, South Florida, Memphis. ESPN 2, I have South Florida by 1, total 60 and 11/20. I swear if Memphis is favored, I'm going to be pissed. And they're not. South Florida, 5.5, total 58.5. Because I thought this was a Vegas nose candidate. I like Memphis getting the 5.5 and plus 184 outright. A little bit. I forgot I saw Florida favored. Because I was going to call the Memphis outright upset. I still think it could happen. Fox Sports 1, Northwestern, Nebraska. My line's Nebraska by 6, total 46 and 3/5. And it is 7.5 and 44.5. Over. Rutgers, Purdue, Big Ten Network. My line is... Wait. I have Rutgers 2.5, total 57 and a 10th, and it is Rutgers 1.5, total 58.5. Slight under. Okay, C-Dub Network, SMU, Wake Forest. My line is SMU by 5, total 52 and 17/20. And it is 2.5 and 53.5. I'm going to lay the SMU minus the 2.5. On TNT, Kansas State, Kansas. Mine's Kansas 1.5, total 56 and a 5th. And it's 3.5 and 56.5. Kansas State plus the 1.5. App State, Old Dominion, ESPNU. My line's Old Dominion 5, total 57 to 7/10. And it is 13.5 and 61.5. I'll take App State in the points. Bowling Green, Kent State. I have Bowling Green 2.5, total 51 and a 10th. And it's 7.5 and 47.5. I'm going to take Kent State getting the 7 in the hook. CBS Sports Network, Ohio, Eastern Michigan. I have Ohio 11.5, total 56 and 7/20. And it is 11.5 and 59.5. Under. Auburn, Arkansas. SEC Network. My line is Auburn 3.5, total 57 and 9/10. And it is Arkansas 2.5, total 55.5. I don't think the right team's favored. I'm taking Auburn plus 2.5 and plus 118 outright. 1 o'clock, Akron, Buffalo. My line is Buffalo 11, total 47 and 4/5. And it's 9.5 and 49.5. Slight under. 3 o'clock, UConn Rice. I have Pick'em in 53 and 3/20ths. And it's UConn 10.5, total 48.5. Oh, I love Rice getting the 10 in the hook. I think UConn's overrated. Utah State, New Mexico. My line is New Mexico by 4, total 60 and 3/20ths. And it's 2.5 and 61.5. Slight lean, New Mexico. On ABC, number 4, Alabama and South Carolina. I have Alabama 9.5, total 46 and 9/20ths. And it is 11.5 and 47.5. I'm going to take South Carolina to cover. ESPN, number 15, Missouri, number 10, Vandy. I have Vandy by 1, total 58 and 11/20ths. And it's 2.5 and 53.5. Over. Number 11, BYU, Iowa State on Fox. My line's BYU by 1, total 49 3/4. And Iowa State's a 2.5 point favorite, totals 49.5. I'm going to take BYU getting the 2 and a hook and plus 114 to win. Number 23, Illinois, Washington, Big Ten Network. I have Illinois by 2, total 57 and 3/20ths. And it is Washington 3.5, total 54.5. I'm taking Illinois plus a 3.5 and plus 144 outright. CBS, Minnesota, Iowa. I have Iowa by 1, total 45 and a 5th. And it is 8.5 and 39.5. That's way too many points for Minnesota, so I'm taking them getting the 8 and a hook. Toledo, Wazoo, C-Dub Network. My line's Toledo 3.5, total 48 and 13/20ths. I'm sure Wazoo's favored. No, Toledo 1.5, total 45.5. Right side's favor, but I like the over better. NC State, Pitt, EC Network. Pitt 5.5, total 57 and 13/20ths, and it is 6.5 and 54.5. Over. San Diego State, Fresno State, Fox Sports 1. I have San Diego State by 1, total 47 and 19/20ths. And it's 3.5 and 47.5. Fresno getting the 3 and a hook. UL Monroe, Southern Miss. My line Southern Miss by 16, total 51 and 7/10. And it's 13.5 and 50.5. I'm going to lay the 13.5 with Southern Miss. CBS Sports Network, FAU Navy. My line's Navy 14, total 61 and 7/10. And it's 14.5 and 62.5. Slight under. Temple, Tulsa. My line's Pick'em in 52 and 17/20ths. I know Temple's probably a big favorite. Oh, no, only 4.5. Totals 53.5. I'll take Tulsa getting the 4.5. I just think, I know Temple, good story and all, but they're going to trip up at some point. Ball State, Northern Illinois. If Ball State by 2, total 42 and 13/20ths. And it is Northern Illinois 6.5, total 42.5. I like Ball State getting the 6 and plus 198. That's way too many points. UMass Central Michigan. My line is Central by 14, total 47 and 11/20ths. And it is 15.5 and 46.5. Slight UMass. Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio. Mine's Miami of Ohio by 6, total 44 and 3/10. And it's 2.5 and 41.5. I'm going to lay 2.5 with Miami of Ohio. 4 o'clock, ESPN, Oklahoma State, number 14, Texas Tech. I have Tech by 23.5, total 56.5, and it is 36.5 and 54.5. I'm taking Oklahoma State in the points. That's a lot. Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio. Oh, we did it already. Baylor, number 21, Cincinnati on ESPN 2. My line's Cincy by 5, total 62 and a quarter. And it's 3.5 and 67.5. Under. Number 22, Texas, Mississippi State, 415 SEC Network. My line is Texas 8.5, total 45 and a 10th. And it's 7.5 and 46.5. Slight under. 6 o'clock, TCU, West Virginia. My line's TCU 1.5, total 57 in the quarter. And it's a whopping 16.5, totals 55.5. I got to take the Mountaineers getting the points. I know they're not very good, but that's way too many points. 7 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Wisconsin, number 6, Oregon. My line's Oregon by 20, total 48 and a 20th. And it's 31.5 and 44.5. I'm going to take Wisconsin getting the points. ESPN, Stanford, number 9, Miami. My line's Miami 18, total 47 and 7/20, and it is 29.5 and 45.5. I'm going to take Stanford in the points, although I do think Miami wins. Georgia Southern, Arkansas State. I have Pick'em in 58 and a 10th. And it's Arkansas State 1.5, total 59.5. Slightly in Georgia Southern in the 1.5. Louisiana, Troy. My line is Troy 13.5, total 52 and 19/20. And it's 9.5 and 48.5. Over. 7:30, ABC. Number 3, Texas A&M. Number 20, LSU. This has got to be the Fowler Herbstreit game. Yes. My line is LSU by 1, total 49 and 17/20. And it's Texas A&M 2.5, total 49.5. Woo! LSU is a home dog. This is a must spot for LSU, in my opinion. I'm taking them plus 2.5 and plus 114 to win. BC number 19, Louisville, ACC Network. Mine's Louisville 15, total 58. And it is 25.5 and 54.5. I'm taking BC in the points to cover. On NBC, number 25, Michigan and Michigan State. My line is Michigan by 4, total 52 and 3/4. And it is Michigan 14.5, total 47.5. Rivalry game. I'm taking Sparty getting the 14 in the hook. CBS Sports Network, Colorado State, Wyoming. I have Colorado State 30.5, total 45 and 3/4. And it's Wyoming 4.5, total 47.5. I'm taking Colorado State plus the 4.5 and plus 166 outright. 3 more left. 7:45, SEC Network. Number 17, Tennessee, Kentucky. My line is Tennessee by 10, total 64 and 2/5. And it's 8.5, 54.5. Over. 8 o'clock, ESPN 2, Houston, number 24, Arizona State. Arizona State 4.5, total 49 and 7/20. But is Dillingham back for Arizona State? So it looks like Dillingham's back. So that's good. And the line indicates it because it's Arizona State by 7.5, total 46.5. I'm going to take Houston getting the points. I like this Houston team. I don't think they're going to win. I just think they're going to cover. That's all. And last but not least, 10:15 on ESPN, Colorado, Utah. Mine's Utah by 10, total 50 and 2/5. And it is Utah 13.5, total 48.5. I think the Buffaloes cover here, so I'm going to take Colorado plus the 13 and a hook. All right, now move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight. There was only 2 games last night, and they were both absolute classics. Thunder over the Pacers, 141 to 135 in double overtime. So the Thunder, a back-to-back double overtime game, wins. And then the Warriors over the Nuggets, 137, 131 in overtime. Yeah. What a first couple days in the NBA. But, of course, that gambling scandal's overshadowing the great action. All right. Nice little window tonight. Well, really big window. 6:30 Bucks Raptors. The time of this game got moved because of the World Series. My line is the Bucks by 1.5, total 240 and 3/4, and it is Raptors 1.5 total 234.5. I like the over. I think that's a low total. 7 o'clock, Hawks Magic. Minus the Magic by 7 total 237 and 43 100s, and it's 6 and 235.5. Slight over. Cavs Nets. My line is Cavs by 11 total 220 or 233 and 12/25. I have to do the all this math, and it is 11.5 and 230.5 over. On Prime Video, Celtics Knicks. With Towns, I have the 16.5, but without Towns, I have a 12. It's only 3.5 and 230.5. That line tells you all you need to know. That tells you that Karl Anthony Towns is not playing tonight, because why is that line that low? Or is everyone and their mother betting on the Celtics? Because this was 6.5. And so he's questionable. Yeah, so I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Knicks, but if Towns doesn't play, I'm staying away. 8 o'clock, Pistons Rockets. I have Rockets 4.5 total 231 and 12/25. And by the way, my projected total in the Knicks game is 227 and 29/50. And Pistons Rockets, it's 6.5 and 226.5. Over. Next up, Heat Grizzlies. Mine's Grizzlies by 4 total 238 and 11/20. And it is 3 and 230.5. Way over. It's funny, gave out a lot of unders, now I'm giving out a lot of overs. Spurs Pelicans. My line is the Spurs by 7. Total 231 and 17/25. And it's 4.5 and 233.5. I feel like this is wrong. Because I could have sworn this number was 4. Let me just double check my projection for this one. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have it as Spurs by 1 because I accounted for Fox's injury on the wrong team. Total 231 and 68/25, and it's 4.5 and 233.5. I feel like this is a letdown spot for the Spurs, so I'm gonna take the Pelicans plus the points. Okay, next up is Wizards Mavericks. My line is Mavs 14 total 231 and 49/50. And it's 10 and 228.5. I think this is a smash bounce back spot for the Mavs after losing to Wemby. So I'm going to lay the points with Dallas. And by the way, that game's 8:30. 10 o'clock on Prime Video, another Laker home game, this time against the Minnesota Timberwolves. My line is the T-Wolves by 4.5, total 226 and 7/10. And it's only 1.5 and 225.5. That's ridiculous. I love the Timberwolves minus the 1.5. Like the Lakers are so fucking overvalued because they're the Lakers and they have Luka and yada yada. Like, LeBron's not even playing. But when I do projections, I have to account for when he returns. But that's so crazy. Warriors Trailblazers. My line is Golden State 7.5, total 231 and 83/100. Send it is 2.5 and 227.5. I love the Warriors. Too much drama with the Blazers. I'm laying the 2.5. Jazz Kings. My line's the Kings 3.5, total 234.25, and it is 6.5 and 234.5. I'm taking the Jazz getting the 6.5. They played well against the Clippers and blew them out. And I think that they could be competitive here at the Kings. Maybe even win that game too. And then 10:30 Suns Clippers. Minus Clippers 11.5, total 230 and 49/50ths. And it is 10 and 223.5. I like the over in that spot. Okay, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and go look ahead to tonight and the weekend. All right, yesterday, Blackhawks over the Lightning 3-2, Sharks over the Rangers 6-5 in OT, Ducks over the Bruins 7-5, Sens over the Flyers 2-1, Pens over the Panthers 5-3, Isles over the Red Wings 7-2, Mammoth over the Blues 7-4, Preds over the Canucks 2-1, Kraken over the Jets 3-0, Kings over the Stars 3-2 OT, Canes over the Avs 5-4 in a shootout, and the Oilers over the Habs 6-5. All right, 7 o'clock on ESPN Plus and Hulu, Maple Leaf Sabres. Leafs off to a slow start this year. They're minus 126. The Sabres are plus 105. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Leafs minus 1.5 plus 194. Sabres plus 1.5 is minus 245. I'm going to go with the over. Sharks Devils. Devils minus 375. Sharks plus 290. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Sharks plus 1.5 plus 120. Devils minus 1.5 minus 148. I'm going to go with the over at plus money here too. Caps Jackets. Caps minus 114. Jackets minus 105. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Caps minus 1.5 plus 98. Jackets plus 1.5 minus 250. I like the Capitals at minus 114. And at 8 o'clock, Flames Jets. Jets minus 132. Flames plus 110. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Flames plus 1.5 is minus 30. Jets minus 1.5 plus 184. I like the under at even money. All right, the weekend. 12:30 Isles Flyers, 3 o'clock NHL Network Avs Bruins, 5 o'clock Ducks Lightning, Sabres Leafs, 6 o'clock Golden Knights Panthers, Mammoth Wild, Blues Red Wings at 7, Jackets Penguins, Sens Caps, NHLR Canadians Canucks, 8 o'clock Kings Preds, Canes Stars, and 10 o'clock Oilers Kraken. And then Sunday, 1 o'clock NHL Network, Avs Devils, 5 o'clock Golden Knights Lightning, 6 o'clock Sharks Wild, Mammoth Jets, 7 o'clock Kings Blackhawks, Stars Preds, 8 o'clock Rangers Flames, 10 o'clock Oilers Canucks. And I forgot to do NBA over the weekend too. So Saturday, back to the NBA for a second. Saturday, 7 o'clock Bulls Magic, 7:30 NBA TV Thunder Hawks, Hornets Sixers, 8 o'clock Pacers Grizzlies, 9 o'clock Suns Nuggets. And then Sunday, 2 o'clock Nets Spurs, 3:30 Celtics Pistons, 6 o'clock Knicks Heat, Bucks Cavs, Hornets Wizards, Pacers T-Wolves at 7, 7:30 Raptors Mavs, 9 o'clock Blazers Clippers, and Lakers Kings. Okay, now move on to soccer. We will go over notable results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to today and the weekend. All right, we'll begin with the Conference League first. Europa. Braga over Red Star 2-0. Bologna over FCSB 2-1. Fenerbahce over VfB Stuttgart 1-0. Go Ahead Eagles over Aston Villa 2-1. Lyon FC Basel. That was Lyon 2-0. Racing Genk Real Betis 0-0 draw. Ferencváros over RB Salzburg 3-2. SK Brand over Rangers 3-0. Victoria Plzen over AS Roma 2-1. Celta Vigo over Nice 2-1. Celtic over SK Sturm Graz 2-1. Feyenoord over Panathinaikos 3-1. PAOK over Lille 4-3. FC Midtjylland over Maccabi Tel Aviv 3-0. Dynamo Malmo 1-1 draw. Nottingham over FC Porto 2-0. FC Freiburg over FC Utrecht 2-0. Young Boys over Ludogorets 3-2. Conference League. AEK Athens over Aberdeen 6-0. AZ Alkmaar over Slovan 1-0. BK Hack and Rayo 2-2 draw. Breidablik and Cups 0-0 draw. Drita Omania 1-1 draw. KF Skendeja over Shelbourne 1-0. Fiorentina over Rapid Vienna 3-0. Legia Warsaw over Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1. Strasbourg Jagiellania 1-1 draw. AEK Laranza over Crystal Palace 1-0. CSU Craiova FC Noah 1-1 draw. Lausanne over Hamrin 1-0. Lincoln Red Imps over Lech 2-1. Mainz over Zerjinski 1-0. Samspor over Dynamo Kyiv 3-0. NK Celje over Shamrock Rovers 2-0. And Raquel and Sigma 1-1 draw. And then Europa. I know we did Europa already. Pro League, I mean. Al Raid over Al Khaloud 1-0. Al Tawoun over Al Faya 2-1. Al Ali over Al Najma 1-0. And then today we had a Conference League game. Rikija over Sparta Prague 1-0. Premier League Leeds over West Ham 2-1. La Liga Real Sociedad over Sevilla 2-1. Bundesliga Bremen over FC Union 1-0. French League 1 Nantes over Paris FC 2-1. Serie A AC Milan Pisa 2-2 draw. ELC Preston over Sheffield United 3-2. Dutch Eredivisie NAC Breda Heerenveen 3-3 draw. Pro League Al Fateh over Al Ettifaq 2-1. Nia Messi Al Khalij 1-1 draw. And Al Hilal over Al Ittihad 2-0. Women's friendlies Dutch Poland 0-0 draw. Italy Japan 1-1 draw. Switzerland over Canada 1-0. And Scotland over Morocco 2-1. Oh yeah, an international yesterday. There was a big one. Portugal beat US 2-1. They played at the Unions Field, Subaru Park, in right outside of Philly. And then Mexico over New Zealand 1-0. All right, MLS playoffs start today. 8 o'clock. Fox Sports 1, round 1, game 1. Miami, Nashville. So that is the 7-8 or the 8-9. No, it's 3-6. That's right. There's no playing like it used to be. Obviously, Miami and Messi is home. So Miami's minus 190, Nashville plus 390, draw plus 370. Miami's going to win. They're the best guy on the field with Messi. But I'm going under 3.5 goals at even money. Liga MX tonight, 9 o'clock, FC Juarez and Puebla. Juarez minus 145, Puebla plus 380, draw plus 270. I'm going to do over 2.5 goals, minus 112. And 11 o'clock, Mazatlan, America. America minus 175, Mazatlan plus 410, draw plus 390, or plus 330. I'm going under 2.5 goals at plus 116. All right, Saturday. EPL, 10 o'clock, Chelsea, Sunderland, Newcastle, Fulham, 12:30 NBC. Man United, Brighton and Hove, 3 o'clock on USA, Brentford, and Liverpool. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Girona, Real Oviedo, 10:15 Espanyol, Elche, 12:30 Athletic, Getafe, 3 o'clock Valencia, Villarreal. Bundesliga, 9:30 Mönchengladbach, Bayern Munich, 9:30 Frankfurt, St. Pauli. FC Augsburg, RP Leipzig, Hamburg SV and VfL Wolfsburg, Hoffenheim and FC Heidenheim, and then 12:30 Dortmund and Cologne. Liga MX 7 o'clock. Tigres Tijuana, 8 o'clock Leon New Guadalajara Atlas, and 11 o'clock Cruz Azul Monterrey. Serie A Parma Como at 9, Udinese Lecce 12 o'clock Napoli Inter, and 2:45 Cremonese Atalanta. French League 1, 11 o'clock Brest PSG, 1 o'clock AS Monaco Toulouse, 3 o'clock Lens and Marseille. Dutch Eredivisie 10:30 Fortuna FC Groningen, 12:45 Sparta Telstar, 2 o'clock FC Volendam and Heracles, and 3 o'clock PC Zwolle and AC Nijmegen. Pro League 10:40 El Kadish and Al Akdod, 10:55 Al Shabab and Damak, and 2 o'clock Al Hazim and Al Nasser. Premiership 10 o'clock Dundee St. Mirren, Falkirk Dundee, and Livingston and Motherwell. Sunday Premier League 10 o'clock AFC Bournemouth Nottingham Forest, Arsenal Crystal Palace, Aston Villa Man City, Wolverhampton Burnley on Peacock, and then 12:30 Everton Tottenham. La Liga 9 o'clock Mallorca Levante, 11:15 ESPN2 Real Madrid Barcelona, 1:30 Osasuna Celta Vigo, and 4 o'clock Real Valenciano and Alaves. Bundesliga 10:30 Bayern Leverkusen SC Freiburg, and 12:30 VfB Stuttgart Mainz. Liga MX 7 o'clock Santos and Carretera, 9 o'clock Athletic de San Luis and Necaxa, and Toluca Pachuca. Serie A 7:30 Torino Genoa, 10 o'clock Verona Cagliari, Sassuolo AS Roma, 1 o'clock Fiorentina Bologna, and 3:45 Lazio Juventus. And League 1 10 o'clock Lille and Metz, 12:15 AJ Auxerre and Le Havre AC, Angers Lorient, Stade Rennes and Nice, and 3:45 Lyon and Strasbourg. Dutch Eredivisie 7:15 FC 20 Ajax, 9:30 Feyenoord PSV Eindhoven, 11:45 AZ Alkmaar FC Utrecht, and 3 o'clock Go Ahead Eagles Excelsior. Premiership 8 o'clock Hearts Celtic, 10:30 Aberdeen Hibernian, 11 o'clock Rangers and Kilmarnock. And in the best for last MLS playoffs, Game 1 5:30 Fox Sports 1 Union Chicago Fire from Subaru Park. This is your 1-8. And I think it's absolutely telling that the Union are only minus 120. And the Fire's plus 280, and so is the draw. And the Union are home. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals plus 138. If the Union line goes down a little more, I might bet them. 7:30, Game 1, Vancouver FC Dallas, so it's best of 3. So this is the 2-7. Vancouver minus 270, Dallas plus 550, draw plus 380. I'm going over 3.5 goals plus 110. And 9:30 San Diego Portland Game 1. That is the 1-8 in the West. San Diego minus 170, Portland plus 410, draw plus 320. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 144. All right, so there you have it for soccer. Now we'll move on to the World Series. Tonight is Game 1. Blue Jays hosting the Dodgers. On Fox, Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal on the call, Blake Snell, Trey Savage. Dodgers minus 154, Jays plus 130, over under 7.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 106, Jays plus 1.5 minus 128. I love the Blue Jays tonight. Plus 130. Savage is going to be a savage tonight. I do think it's Dodgers in 5. If the Blue Jays are going to get a game, it's tonight. So I'm going to take the Jays plus 130. A little bit of a letdown spot for the Dodgers after a 1-week layoff and all the Ohtani hysteria. Okay, now move on to golf. We'll go over the current leaderboard for the Black Desert Championship. I'm just going to do notables because of time. Tied for first with 9 under is Jackson Suber and Michael Brennan. Tied for third with 8 under, Pearson Coody and Matt McCarty. Tied for fifth with 7 under, some Jordan Ollison and Takumi Kanaya. Tied for 7th with 6 under, Justin Lauer, David Lipsky, Max Homa, Kevin Yu, Taylor Moore, Austin Cook. Tied for 14th, 5 under, Ben Coles, Grayson C., Cam Champ. Tied for 22nd, 4 under, Doc Redman, Luke List, Jason Day, Mac Meisner, Harrison Endicott, Doug Gim, Harry Springer, Brett Korschel, Trey Molinax, Kurt Katayama, Francesco Minardi, Patton Kazir. Tied for 43rd with 3 under, Vincent Whaley, Lucas Hodges, Chad Ramey, Kevin Ventura, Patrick Rogers. Tied for 54th with 2 under, Sam Ryder, Hayden Buckley, Adam Svensson, Michael Thjorsen, Will Chandler, Danny Walker. Tied for 64th with 1 under, Kevin Roy, David Skins, Victor Perez, Christian Ziedenhout, Alex Naren, Nate Hardy, Trevor Cohn. Tied for 76 at even, Brant Snecker, Stefan Yeager, Ben Martin, Adam Hadwin, Joel Dahman. Tied for 89th with 1 over, Matt McNeely, Mark Hubbard. Tied for 96 with 2 over, Ryan Palmer, Dean Thompson, Patrick Knowles, Joseph Burnlett. Tied for 104th with 3 over, Camilo Vegas, Bryce Garnett, Matthew Neesmith, Matt Wallace, Bayo Hostler. Tied for 11th with 4 over, Jason Hadley. Tied for 120th with 5 over, Carson Young, Henrik Norlander. Tied for 124th with 6 over, Taylor Montgomery. And we had a couple withdraw, Lucas Griffin, Vince Cavello, and Aldrich Pottinger. All right, now move on to NASCAR. They'll be racing from Talladega. Or no, my apologies. Martinsville. Talladega was last week. All right, the starting grid. We don't have time to go over for trucks, but we will obviously give out a pick. There's a guy that's come on in trucks, Gio Ruggiero. I want to see what his odds are for today. They just have the championship odds out right now. I want the race odds. I'm going to pick Gio Ruggiero. Xfinity is off, actually. They don't race again until the 1st. So they have a bye. And then Sunday at 2 o'clock for Martinsville is the Cup race. The Xfinity 500. I'm going to pick... I think Chase Briscoe has a good number at 16-1. I think everybody else in like the single digits is overvalued. So I'm going to say Chase Briscoe 16-1 to win at Martinsville. And then we have Formula 1 too, the Mexican Grand Prix. From Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So I'm going to go... Well, it actually says it... DraftKings says it's tonight, but Google says it's on Sunday. I think George Russell at 12-1 is really good value. Max is at minus favorite status again. But I'm going to go George Russell at 12-1. Okay, now we'll move on to the on this day in history of sports. This is brought to you by All Sports News. So look back at the headlines from October 24th in the past. 2023, the Arizona Diamondbacks advanced to the World Series. Obviously, this was a big upset. They beat the Phillies in Philadelphia in 7 games and advanced to the World Series. Obviously, haven't been back since. They've made some changes since then. 2014, Joe Madden leaves the Rays. I remember this. He left the Rays for the Cubs because he saw the vision with Chicago. And the year prior, they tried to get Joe Girardi from the Yankees, but failed and ended up with Joe Madden instead, which was probably the better decision. So I think the Cubs were better off waiting for Joe Madden, and then they win the World Series with him at the helm. 2019, the Phillies hired Joe Girardi. Speaking of Joe Girardi, this was his first job in 6 years after, or not six in 6 years, in 2 years since getting fired from the Yankees. But 6 years prior to that, I had 6 years, man, because that was when he was flirting with going to the Cubs. That's why I had that in my head. But yeah, 2 years after the Yankees get rid of him, the Phillies hire him, and then they fire him for Rob Thompson, and then the Phillies make it to the World Series with Rob Thompson, ironically enough. 2021, Tom Brady throws a 600th touchdown pass. He was a member of the Buccaneers at the time. I do not remember who they played. Maybe, was it when they played New England? Because I remember him going to New England in a Bucs uniform, and I bet on the Patriots in that game, and the Patriots covered. 2022, the Colts bench Matt Ryan for Sam Ehlinger. I don't even know who their coach was back then. Was it Steichen? I doubt it. I don't think their coach was Steichen yet. I think Steichen was still with the Eagles. I don't remember who their coach was. It might have been Jeff Saturday. That was a clusterfuck. 2020, Rays even World Series on wild walk-off. They played the Dodgers, and they came close to winning that series. 2023, the Giants hire Bob Melvin. 2 years later, Bob Melvin's no longer their manager. 2020, Jalen Waddle breaks his ankle with Alabama. That was ugly. 2021, the Cardinals hire Oliver Marmol. Oliver Marmol's still there. And they really haven't been relevant with them. 2019, DeAndre Ayton suspended 25 games. We remember that suspension. That was a while ago. Because he violated the anti-drug policy. 2017, Jason Peters tears his ACL and MCL. Former great offensive lineman for the Eagles. And then they won the Super Bowl that year, too. Or that season. In 2016, Arian Foster retires. He was a member of the Miami Dolphins at the time, and then he retired. Some interesting memories for sure. Okay, now move on to the news and notes for today. The Red Sox love Kyle Schwarber, as they could show some real interest if Schwarber does not go back to Philadelphia. The Seattle Storm hires Sonia Ramon. She's the first Indian American woman to coach a WNBA team. Very interesting hire for the Seattle Storm. Lane Kiffin to address rumors, as he will talk to players directly amid speculation around the Florida opening. Nick Saban shuts down return buzz as he makes it clear he wants to stay retired. I think the only way he comes out is if Bama fires DeBoer. That would be the funniest thing ever. And I think, I feel like that's like a Coach K thing. Like if Schneider didn't work out. Trying to think of other ones I could see. Popovich. If the Spurs got off to a slow start or something like that. But there's a couple of them that jump out. And Saban stands out. So, SEC suspends referee Ken Williamson for the rest of the season with controversial calls in Georgia's win. A.J. Brown out against the Giants with a hamstring injury. And speaking of the Giants, the league punishes the Giants' Brian Daboll $200,000 fine for concussion protocol violation around Jackson Dart against the Eagles. The Pelicans signed DeAndre Jordan, 1 year, $3.6 million deal. The Bucks not faced by the Giannis buzz as trade rumors haven't changed things in-house for the Bucks. Draymond Green says he could play 4 to 5 more years as he feels incredible coming into the season. Derwin James' injury is nothing major. He'll undergo MRI on low ankle sprain. Jeff Okuda got concussed last night against the Chargers. JJ McCarthy could return next week from the ankle injury. Many people think it was a soft benching, and of course this came out in the middle of the game. It was still up in the air if Lamar Jackson plays against the Bears, but that line is indicating that he is. Boba Fett's in for the World Series. I did my pick for the series yesterday. Mitchell Robinson's still out with the ankle injury. He'll miss the Celtics game tonight. We'll see about Josh Hart. And this is interesting. Aaron Rodgers says career will end in Green Bay as he plans to finish football career with the Packers one day. One day. I don't think the Packers want any part of you, Aaron Rodgers, because you were not that he was the problem there, but I think they wanted to move on because he just had a lot of drama, and that's why the Jets moved on too. But hey, Mike Tomlin seems not to care. Tyreek Hill unsure of NFL future. He's happy with the career he's built amid thoughts on retirement. Logan Wilson requested a trade from the Bengals. Jermaine Johnson was talking about the viral GIF that was going around. Jerry Jones designed defensive help for the Cowboys as he's been making calls amid Max Crosby trade buzz. They still need to replace Micah Parsons. They haven't done that yet. The Pac-12 is changing its conference format in basketball as the league schedule will feature a 16-game round robin in 26-27. That is according to John Rothstein. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to college football. And I am going to take Cal getting the 6.5 at Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech's an overrated team. They changed coaches. They should not be giving that many points at home. I think Cal's going to win the game. So I'm going to take Cal getting the 6 on the hook. And now, the Fab Five. I will begin with college football, as I normally would. There's a lot of stuff I like, by the way. Pick number 1, I'm taking Memphis getting the 6 hook against South Florida. Memphis is good. I don't know if they're going to win the game, but I think that they will stay within a touchdown. Pick number 2, I wanted to take Ole Miss, but there's too much drama going on there with Kiffin and the Florida stuff, so I'm staying away. I got to pick against UConn again. I'm taking Rice getting the 10 in the hook. I just think UConn's overrated. And Rice is going to hang around. Pick number 3. I'm going to take Minnesota back to the well with them, getting 8 in the hook against Iowa. If they crash and burn me here, I'm not picking them again. Pick number 4. I'm going to Sparty's too rich of a price. I don't want to take Houston. I'm absolutely not taking Colorado. I'm going to go back to the well with another team that's been good to me. Colorado State, plus 4.5 against Wyoming. And pick number 5, I'm going to go with the over 54.5 in Tennessee, Kentucky. So I'm going with the total for the first time in a while in Fab 5. And my underdog to win outright in the sport. It sucks that I can't go to the game tonight, or else I'd say Cal. I am just sniffing around right now. And I don't want to pick a team I don't have favored. And I don't want to pick Ole Miss because of the drama with Kiffin. I found one. And this is a team I didn't take spread-wise in Fab 5. I'm going to take Ball State to upset Northern Illinois at plus 198. That's a good one. All right, the NFL Fab 5. One of the picks I gave out earlier in the week is not making it because of an injury. So I'm just giving you that heads up. Pick number 1, I'm going with the over in the Jets-Bengals game. That's too low. Flacco's going to throw all over him. Pick number 2, I'm laying the 7 in New England against the Browns. They're just way better than the Browns. Pick number 3, I'm actually going with the game with the injured player. That's Antonio Brown. But I'm not taking the Eagles. I'm actually taking over 43.5 in the Giant-Eagle game. I saw leaks in the Giants defense. There's leaks in the Eagles defense too. So that's like an auto over 43.5. That's way too low for me. Pick number 4, I'm laying the 3.5 with Denver against Dallas. I just think that the Broncos got into it a little bit with that comeback against the Giants. And I picked number 5. I'm going to double down on a pick. I don't think they're going to win outright because their starting quarterback's probably not going to play. But I think they're going to cover the number, and that's Carolina getting the 7 to hook against Buffalo. And my underdog moneyline pick of the week, you guys know it. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 128 to knock off the Packers. You know my rule. The team has to be either bigger than a 3-point underdog or bigger than plus 125 or higher on the money line. And Pittsburgh's not going to be plus 128 for much longer. I'm taking them plus 128 to knock off Green Bay and Jordan Love. So there I have it for the show. And I'll be back on Monday recapping everything and looking ahead to everything come Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.